Hello, welcome to the Countryside YMCA show. My name is Matt Bruns. I'm the Chief Development Officer at Countryside YMCA. And I'm up here today and I get to be joined by some participants and a volunteer for our youth triathlon. So youth triathlon is one of the events that our Countryside YMCA does each year. I think we started back in 2010. So I'm going to get introduced our guests here this morning so that I can ask them some questions and we can get everybody kind of understanding why we do the YMCA triathlon for the kids out there, how long we've been doing it, and some neat things about it. So I'm going to go ahead and introduce. I've got Jack and Julia Thurston here with me this morning. And then I have Earl Edmonds, who is a volunteer and has been doing this program with us, I think, since its beginning, correct? Yeah. So Earl, when did we start the youth triathlon out at Countryside?
2010.
Okay.
And it's been a great success every year. We missed 1 year with COVID, but it's been tremendous. So this will be our 11th, that we've done. I want to say 12, but we lost that year.
Yep.
So
if we only lost 1 year for it, that's not too bad.
That's pretty
right?
good.
We're doing pretty good. Do you? I know you put a lot of your own time into volunteering. You're on a committee, and there's a lot of preparation time that goes into it. Jason Roberts stepped up as kind of someone organizing it this year. We had some changes over there at Countryside Y, and he stepped up and has really done a good job. You mentioned to me, but it was a pleasure having you here just a few months ago as a volunteer for Volunteer Month. You and Lynn Payne were up here, and I appreciated having you there, so I appreciate having you back. And then we've got Julia and Jack here. So how long have you two been participating in the youth triathlon out at the Y?
We've done it for like 5 years.
Yes. 5 years now. So what got you started 5 years ago? Well, it might be 6 years ago now, but the first one you did, how did you get into it? What made you kind of get out to the YMCA and take on that challenge?
We saw an advertisement. We were at the Y when we were interested. We'd never done a triathlon before.
Yeah? How old were you when you first did the first one?
I was, I think, 9 years old.
9 years old. And you saw this challenge and you thought, man, that's something I got to do?
Yeah.
Good
really,
for you two.
It sparked our interest, and it was something we were like interested in. We didn't know like really what we were doing, what it was about. So we wanted to try it out for our first time.
Awesome.
Just see what we could accomplish for our first time.
I love it. So what do you guys have favorite? I mean, we're talking about what you start in the pool? Where do you start?
The pool.
Yep,
so you start with the swim. How far is the swim?
When we first started, it was like 100 meters, I think.
Okay. And then you go to the bike?
Yep.
Yes.
Bike and then the run.
How long's the bike?
I think it was like a 6K, I think.
6K.
Okay.
Yeah.
On the bike and then.
Yeah.
And then is it a mile for the run?
I think a mile for the run.
I can help you with that.
Yeah.
The swim is a 50-meter swim for 6 to 8.
Okay.
And then for 9 to 11, the swim is 100 meters, and then it's 150 meters for the older kids, which would be the 12 to 14. So it gradually
makes
builds
sense
up.
that you progress into some longer distances
and
as
the
you've been
swim
doing it,
is
for sure.
actually the most challenging part, I think, in all triathlons.
Yeah.
And I can still remember these two when they first started. Their mother would bring them up to the Y and have them practice swimming out there to make sure they can make the 50 meters, and they did great.
There you go.
So,
that's what it takes, right?
Yeah.
A little bit of preparation, a little work. So now that you guys kind of have this on your radar, you probably look forward to it, I hope. That's why you come back, but you have a challenge set too. So you guys, do you individually take like some goals and say, I want to do a little better in the pool this time or a little better in the bike? Like, how do you two prepare as you know it's coming up into August and getting ready for the triathlon?
Yeah, of course there's some training into it as well. We practice transitions as well, going from swimming to biking or biking to running, trying to improve those times. Practice swimming, running a lot. It helps not only get better, increase or decrease your time between those, but also like it more, like the sport as well, like swimming and running helps you with biking and all that.
That's great. I didn't think of the transitions, but that's you can shave off some seconds here and there. It all matters in the overall time, right?
Yes.
So what's, let me ask you first, Jack, what is your favorite part of the tri?
My favorite would be the run. I really enjoy the run.
So you get to finish with your forte, right?
Because it's all about you physically and it's all mental as well. So
Yeah.
it's just you running, and you just gotta keep it with yourself and
So
know what's going on.
when you hop off the bike, your legs are a little
Sore.
weird,
Yes.
right? Like, it's not
Yeah.
like you just get
Yes.
up out of the chair and think I'm going to go for a run.
Yeah.
You've just been using them for
Mm-hmm.
6K or
Yeah.
however long the bike is, right?
Yeah, that's
so you
right.
hop off, and then you gotta tell your brain like, hey, I can run. Like,
Yeah.
get these legs going again, right?
That's right.
Good,
Yes.
good. Julia, what's your favorite part of the triathlon?
Mine would also have to be the run.
Like to run too?
Yes.
Yep. Same reason, just kind of get that mental aspect by the time it gets to the end of it, and just tell yourself, hey, I'm going to push through this and get to the end,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
Those are good things. I'm glad you two are doing this. Glad your parents got you involved, and
Yeah.
these are things, as Earl and I know, these are things that help throughout life. You gotta just there'll be challenges. You get to push yourself a little harder, and you guys will have this neat experience to look back and say, oh, I've done that. I can do these other things too. So that's great. Earl, what do you get to see? Let me ask you this first. How many kids participate in this on an average basis?
It's a range. We go, I think one year we had 138. We've had 180. We're hoping, the goal is to maybe get to 200 this year.
That's great.
And what's really great about it is these two are a perfect example of healthy life skills and getting into swimming, biking, running at an early age, seeing the benefits of it. And these two are a perfect example. Now they've aged out now. They're too old now. They're going to be sophomores in high school. But in high school now, they're both doing track, they're both doing cross country, and they're both swimming. So I think that all starts back when they started triathlons, and they have parents who think that's a really important skills and important lifestyle, and that's the result. These two guys right here.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. So what, you guys do other things in school? I mean, obviously Earl has talked about you guys are very active with all three of the pieces of the triathlon. That's great. You got any other interests outside of that, or do you not have time for it with those three?
I also do ROTC and softball.
Oh, nice. Great. Good. Jack?
No, not really.
Yeah,
I do
you
ROTC.
focus on
Yes, I do those sports, and then I also do ROTC.
Good.
So we do like community service and all that.
That's awesome. Good for
yes.
you. Good for you. So here's the, I'm going to put a little plug in for the Y. The Y is about kind of stand on three pillars in the community. That's kind of what the YMCA does. So healthy living, youth development, and social responsibility. So I only bring it up because you guys are like perfect example of all three of them. Got healthy living, which obviously you two are healthy. You've been involved with the Tri, doing things that are out there, being healthy. And then you get youth development. So you guys have, since for the last 6 years, have been part of the Tri out there. And social responsibility, you talk about giving back and doing different things in ROTC and different things. That's what social responsibility is, just kind of being good neighbors in the community.
Yeah.
There are things that we do for ourselves, challenges like the triathlon. There's things we do for others, and that's great that you guys are doing that at such a young age. I love it. Good for you too. That's very, very good. Appreciate that. You guys are great representatives. I'm glad you're here this morning.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Earl, when is the triathlon this year?
The triathlon is August the 20th.
Okay.
And we're
Saturday, correct?
Yeah, it's
and
a Saturday.
They start in the mornings. They go all day?
We start at 8 o'clock in the morning with the youngest going off first. And they do packet pickup and everything on the 19th. There's no registration on the day of. Only you have to register before the race.
Okay.
And
for planning purposes, I'm sure, right?
Oh, yeah, because we try to put them in swimming, in lanes and everything, and make sure it's all organized. The volunteers are terrific at this. We have so many volunteers help with this, out on the bike trail, out on the run trail, up at the pool. And then, the sponsorship is wonderful. We have Shine Orthodontics, who's done tremendous job and supplying a lot of things for the race.
That's great.
And then Skyline Chili, every year, I always like to put a plug in for Ron down at Skyline, and the Misla family. They have supported this every single year, and it's great. It is wonderful.
Yeah, couldn't have it as nice of an event as we do without those sponsors. So that's great. I appreciate you bringing those up.
Yeah.
How many volunteers does it take to run that day?
I'll tell you what, it's probably close to 100.
Yeah?
At least, yeah. Because we do an after party too. And Deborah Collada, who has done it as long as I have. She does a great job organizing all that.
Oh, that's wonderful.
And we have, you cross the finish line, you get a Skyline chili dog.
Nice.
And it's the only race in town where you get a chili dog at the finish.
You burnt some calories. You got to put some back in when it's over,
right? You get a little
right?
medal and a
Yeah.
chili dog.
There you go.
And then there's all kinds of things at the after-race party that Deborah has lined up. And there's ice cream, and
Yeah,
that's
so
that's
good.
Julia's favorite. You
So
know.
fun.
And,
Nice.
they have water balloon toss. They have a bounce land. They have all kinds of activities for the kids to do afterwards. And parents can participate as well, and the food and everything. So
That's great.
It's really great. They even have a water balloon throwing deal. So
Nice.
They handle it all.
Let me ask you, Earl, do you need more volunteers, or do you
Well,
and your committee
we-
think you're sitting pretty good?
It's interesting. I'm organizing all my volunteers. I run the transition area.
Okay.
Where the bikes and everything are, and you come in there to get ready to run and bike and after your swim. And I lost 3 people because I just found this out because they're going to be on vacation. So I'm recruiting now. I need to pick up 3 more. But I have a lot of the same people that help me year after year. And there always is a need for more volunteers. And on the registration, there's a place where you can sign in to volunteer as well. So always looking for volunteers.
So I know, time is a very valuable commodity. So how do you get people to volunteer and give of their time that day? Or maybe I should say, why do they do it?
I think they have such a fun time doing it. It's so encouraging to see little 6-year-olds doing this, and then kids in their 9 to 11, and then the older kids 12 to 14. It's so encouraging to see kids involved in this kind of activity that I think people just enjoy being around it. And then again, the people that run this are so good and organized, and I think volunteers feel very comfortable.
That's great. How many are on your committee?
There's probably about 7 or 8 on our committee.
And you guys meet every other week?
Yeah, we've been meeting a lot. We meet, we're going to meet again August 9th to go over supplies and everything. I mean, people don't think about all that goes into it. And, the city is so great. They provide cones for us. And we set up on the running trail and
nice.
in the transition area and the bike trail. The city helps us tremendously, the city of Lebanon. And you just, you're always asking for help, and everybody's been so willing to help out.
That's good. That's great. Sounds like a wonderful event. If someone is watching the show today and they would like to be a part of it, it's August 20th.
Right.
Do you have volunteer shifts? Are they like 2 hours, or is it just kind of all day? We'll take you as much as we can get you?
We're typically done by 11:30.
Okay.
It starts at 8. It's about a 3-hour deal. And then, of course, the after parties after that. But it goes pretty fast. And it's
busy morning, right?
And it's fun.
Yeah.
It's a fun busy.
If someone were to want to get involved, who would they contact out at the Y?
They can contact Jason.
Okay.
They can go online, and there's a volunteer sign up where they can sign up for that.
Okay.
And in each area where they might want to be.
So going online is the best way, and if not, they can call. And Jason Roberts is our swim team coach.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Get a hold of somebody out there at the Y that'll get them connected.
Right.
That's great. I appreciate certainly you and everybody else that works with you to make that event happen. It sounds awesome. Haven't got to see one yet. Unfortunately, I'll be one of the people on vacation this year, so I won't be able to see it this year either. Yeah. But let me get back to Jack and Julia. I know I asked you guys about your favorite piece of the tri.
Yes.
Let me get to the least favorite piece of the tri. Jack, what of the 3 do you like the least?
Okay, well, the bike definitely is something that I have to work hard to achieve, or get through, because after you swim, you use your legs, use your arms. You do the transition. Now you gotta use your legs again with the bike, and all the hills and stuff. It definitely brings some challenge to the event, and it's something that you have to work through in order to make it through. Yeah,
for sure. So do you do extra training on the bike, or do you try and keep your training the same for all 3 when you were doing this?
I try to even out the training because it's important to do everything, train for everything and not focus on one thing specifically. I train for the swim too, just as much as the bike, because if I do well in the swim, then it won't hurt as much for the bike.
There you go. Good, good. Do you practice like, I'm going to go out and bike for a while and then hop off and run, so that you have that feeling mentally upstairs? You kind of, okay, this isn't the first I've felt this. I know I can get my legs working again.
And definitely as you do more triathlons, you do feel the same. You just try to improve. You know, there's there's a longer bike, longer swim, longer run. So you have to definitely train how you practice how you play. Yeah. You just gotta work with it.
Great. Yeah. Good job. Julia, what do you think? What's the least favorite of the three?
For me, it was the swim.
Yeah?
I may or may not have had a pool noodle thrown at me.
They tell you to hurry up. They were closing down.
I know. I was like probably the last one out of the pool every heat every year.
Yeah.
So.
The nice thing is you get to get it out of the way at the beginning, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're like, oh, that's done. The rest is all good now, right?
Yeah.
That's
you
good.
also have all this adrenaline that you have to use. You get to use for the rest of the race, so it's beneficial. Yes.
And do you guys have friends? You guys go to Lebanon School,
yes.
right? So do you guys have friends that do this?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you know some of the other people in the pool and on the bike with you when you're out there?
It definitely helps to know people when you're doing it, so you can pick them up when they're down and stuff.
I was just going to ask if you guys encourage one another? Or?
Yes,
yes.
That's awesome. That's good. So you two, you're going to be juniors? You're going to be sophomores?
Yes.
Now, this is a question, if you don't know the answer, totally awesome. I didn't know what I was going to do when I was a sophomore. I don't think I knew what I was going to do when I was a sophomore in college. But you guys have any ideas of what your ambitions, goals are, or maybe career paths? And like I said, if you don't, no biggie, but...
no, I don't have any...
Totally fine.
I don't either.
Yep. I didn't either when I was your age. So I just thought, you guys are doing this. I didn't know if maybe I might continue doing some triathlon stuff. Do you guys do any triathlons outside of the Countryside Y one?
We do the Miamisburg Triathlon.
Great. Yeah. When is that one?
I think I was kind of around I think it was the week after it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good. So you've still got it in your routine throughout the year, right?
It's sort of the same thing with the run and the bike. I mean, I guess it's a little bit different in a canoe as well instead of a swim.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, it's...
That is different.
The Miamisburg Triathlon was the day after it, because my mom would always do the Miamisburg Triathlon.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we would do our own, and then she would go with us and do
That's awesome.
That one as well.
That's interesting.
So just when you finish the kids triathlon, then you got to do the other one. So we were definitely really sore when we do that.
Oh, yeah, I bet.
Yeah.
The Earl, you may know the answer to this, but I think the Y does an indoor triathlon for it.
Yes, I do the indoor.
You do the indoor one. Is that January or February?
It's in January.
I know it's over the winter time, but
it's really a good. I like it because I do the triathlons in the summer as well.
Right.
I still do them.
Yep.
And I like it in the winter because it gives you something to keep training for through the winter, and so I do it. These guys might be able to sign up this year to do it, in January.
There we go.
But,
just transition you into the next triathlon out the way.
It's really good because it keeps you going, practicing, and doing all three. Yeah.
That's great. I was trying to think of, do you guys have coaches as volunteers for people, participants, if they want to get better at different things? Are there opportunities for them, or does the Y just kind of, hey, we have swim lessons available, we have different things available?
Well, we used to do, and I taught with Theo Rich. She and I taught a triathlon class.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't know if these guys did it or not. I can't remember. But
was that for adults and youth, both, Earl?
Just
for the youth.
For the kids as a lead-in to the triathlon. And it was really good, and we did it for a few years. And we get them in the pool, and work with them. We'd go through the idea of transition and how to, what to do, because you really got to understand in transition, because they're timing you, and that time is running to do it quickly. And so we'd work on things like that. And that was
there's technique involved.
Yeah. I always thought that was really a good class. And Theo Rich was another triathlete, and she and I would teach the class together.
That's great. That's good. I'm glad to have that. Glad that you guys have progressed through it, and now you're out of it and still keeping with those three sports and having them in your lives. That's good.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the triathlon is a kids triathlon. I know it's part of the overall, the dollars raised from it actually go to the annual campaign. Did you two know that by chance?
No.
It's awesome because I wanted to let you know that while you guys are doing this, you find it interesting and you keep coming back year after year. That's great. Earl and the other volunteers and the staff at the Y that are involved with it to make this happen. All the proceeds go to the annual campaign at the Y, which is used to do some great programs at the Y. They do a Live Strong for cancer survivors. They do a Veterans Connect program for veterans, military veterans that are back. There's financial assistance available so that everybody can come into the Y and enjoy the opportunities and amenities that the Y has. There's ways to remove that financial hurdle that way. But the YMCA gives over about $300,000 to $350,000 into the community and resources each year. And the Youth Tri is one of the events. There's basically 3 events. We do a golf outing, there's a gala in February, and then the Youth Tri. So those 3, and then kind of some, obviously we have some volunteers and some corporations that obviously support the Y and the mission that we have with. But yeah, so I wanted to let you guys know that you guys are a part of making that happen.
Yeah.
So I
that's
appreciate
amazing.
that. But yeah, it's a lot of good stuff comes from that, a lot of good impact in the community. And I've been with the Y for a number of years, and coming down here to Countryside 2 years ago, I really got to see that this Y is one that really walks the talk, and I'm glad that these events happen. I mean, it's a win-win. I look at you two and I'm like, oh, this is awesome. Like, I'm glad our youth are going through this and developing, and that's great. And then I look at the Y and I'm, oh, all the wonderful things they get to do as the proceeds from this event happen. So definitely a win-win. But
Yeah.
anything else you guys want to share about the triathlon? You think we covered everything, Earl, or is there?
We covered a lot. I think one of the things I'd like to say is just how great the Y is. I've been a member at the Y for over 20-something years, and it's just a great place. And we talked about this on Volunteer Month,
Yeah.
and I love going up there. My wife always says, "What takes you so long?" Well, it's the social aspect. You know, while you're lifting, you're talking to people, and it's just a great atmosphere, and I love it, and I want to make sure people know how much I appreciate the Y.
Earl, you're a fantastic ambassador of the Y. I love having you on the
thank
show.
you.
I'm going to skip this once in a while and let you just do this. But you got this under control now. I love it. But this is truly a special Y. I've been about 4 different communities through my YMCA career, and I love being here in Lebanon, and the service that this Y has in Warren County is truly special. It's neat to be a part of. But basically, you know, the Y is at one point it was the largest Y in the country, and I think it's one of the largest Ys now, depending on what you're measuring. But you know, that's neat to say, but the thing that makes it special is certainly the people that are out there.
Right.
You know, we get kids involved with awesome things, and they're doing great things and developing. We get volunteers like Earl and people that just love the Y. But there's a lot of fellowship that happens out there with the fitness, right? Yeah.
Yes.
You get to see these little cliques that are kind of working out together, whether it's a fitness exercise class or just in the room. But you hear people, "Hey, where were you yesterday?"
That's right.
You know, and I'm like, I love that piece of it where they're encouraging and kind of holding each other accountable.
Yeah.
You know,
Yes.
I'm sure you two probably do this with the triathlon. I doubt you guys go out and practice and let the other one slack off and not do that, right?
I know.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate the 2 of you being here today.
Yeah.
I wish you the best of luck with whatever comes next, but certainly your next triathlon, wherever that is.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Earl, thank you so much for being
Thank
here.
you.
Good
Thank
luck on the
you.
20th, and hopefully we'll maybe have inspired some people to take part with us that day and be
I
a
hope-
volunteer
I hope
or get
so.
their kids or grandkids out there and take part in the registration piece of it, right?
I thank these 2 guys for coming this morning so we can do this, and because they're a great model for the product that comes out of the Kids Tri.
For sure. I
Thank
agree.
you.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yes.
Appreciate everybody being here today. All right, thank you. That's going to wrap up this episode, but we'll see you again next month. Take care and enjoy.